It is the Fantasy Rugby Yanks. My name is Jared Dyke. I wanted to say it's stupid and let's move on, but then you kept going.
I'm Ben Glauser. I don't like any way anybody handled that.
A collusion. Hey everybody, welcome back. It is the Fantasy Rugby Yanks. My name is Jared Dyke.
I'm Ben Glauser.
Let's roll fantasy corner time. Let's have a look. Abstain for the second one just so I can keep my wits tomorrow for my actual job.
Yeah, overrated.
Yeah, right. But in the meantime, let's have a look at Champi-Yanks League Division 1. 2 scores over 100. Everybody else was kind of hovering around 80 or 70. So,
and then there was me.
Yeah. So Cobus beat Carrick. Justin fell the sword to me. Mark got the better of George, and yeah, you served one up for Duncan over there. But
yeah, I had one player break 10.
Yikes,
Tom Curry, and that was it.
Yeah,
even Ted Hill had the try, only had 8.8. Like, yeah, it was not good. I was scrambling. I mean, the lineups were not friendly to me. And also Bears being out. I'm gonna miss Radradra when he's not around. So
yeah, those days hurt.
Those
days hurt.
Not a good one.
All right, and let's look at what's going on next week. This week it'll be myself and Cobus. Ooh, that's gonna be a tough one. Carrick and Mark, Duncan and Justin, and then you get our old friend George.
Yeah. Oh, thank God. That means I'll go off.
Maybe you might be the bug, the one that doesn't get that, man. I seem to recall the first matchup of the year. I totally hit a duck against him. Just totally hit a duck.
Possibly, but he does have Bath being on bye. He's got Ojomo and Spencer, so that helps me.
Ojomo's not a huge loss.
No, but he's got no other midfielder in reserve, and he's got no other halfback in reserve. So that's 2 things. Now he's gonna have to cut somebody, and I'm gonna have to be looking lustily after whatever he drops.
Perhaps. These standings are excuse me, jeez, that's a good one. Creatures coming out of me here. The standings are Duncan leads one conference and Cobus leads the other. The runner-ups right now are Mark and myself. I am the most vulnerable because I am that last spot.
Yeah, you're 7-7 along with me and Justin.
Right. It means I need to keep on hitting the dubs. And this week against Cobus will not be fun.
No.
Not for the toll.
No, it will not.
Let's jaunt on down to Division 2. Thank you very much to our Deputy Commissioner, Sophia, who has run under the weather. So we wish you well and get better soon.
Yeah, get better soon.
In any case, we had Terry and Sophia do battles. Sophia came out on top. Good on her. That'll brighten your experience a little bit, hopefully. Larry was able to down Stewart, so Larry's now back into the mix again. Alex again wins. Had 123, did not have a halfback either. And he had Guy Porter, who only hit minus 1.2. But
we're giving him too much information.
Yeah, we also had James. He also had James Ram and Tom Curry. So he had both Currys actually, and they both scored well.
Yeah,
so there you go.
All right,
that answers that.
We may have to cancel his Patreon account.
Yeah,
it's not worth the money.
He took down Franco. And then in a heck of a pillow fight, Luke took down John, and John unfortunately is looking a little bit beleaguered, to say the least. So we'll have to check in on him and make sure he's okay. The matchups this week will be Luke and Terry, John and Larry, Franco and Luke, and what did I say Luke before? I meant Stuart and Terry. Sorry, my fault. Totally botched that. First mistake today. Franco and Luke. There we go. And then Alex and Sophia.
Okay.
The standings as it stands. Stuart is in first in one conference. Alex is in first in the other. Pulling up the back end are two people from Stewart's Conference, Franco and Sophia right now. Franco's at 9-5. Sophia's at 8-6. The rest of them are at 6-8, 6-8, 5-9, 3-11. So they got some ground to make up down there.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, we're gonna have a runaway with the first places, the playoff places here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's do start sit.
Start sit. All right, and I'm up first because I have the 3 matches. All right, off to Kingsholm for Gloucester hosting Saracens. As we talked about on the pod, I don't know what you do with Gloucester. Their front row is quality, so you got to start them. Although now down 2 hookers, but they still have George McGuigan. So yeah, start their front row. And then after that, like from a fantasy perspective, I think what you said earlier, Jared, you texted me today and said that like you'd done a couple of the games, and only this past weekend there were 4 teams that only had 2 or fewer.
5. We had
5 teams that had 2 or fewer players with 10 points. That's it. 2 players with 10 points or less. So, maybe Chris Harris, because he'll score okay. Seb Atkinson has been scoring okay, like enough to like if you have a hole there, yeah, plug him in. You'll get 6 to 10 points and you live with it. Ollie Thorley, maybe Johnny May, but they're bubble players at best because it's Saracens who have such a great fantasy defense that you just don't want to start players against them if you can at all avoid it. So Gloucester really are kind of a team to avoid here if you can. Outside of, again, the front row and maybe Chris Harris is the guys you're like, okay, I can feel confident in starting them. But if even Chris Harris, if you got someone else, go in that direction.
Consider, yeah.
Like I have him in one of our leagues. I am not going to start. Is it this league? Yeah, I have him. It's going to be Esterhazen and Radradra instead. Like,
yeah,
there's also a reason that I have Esterhazen and Radradra, and Chris Harris is my third. Like, that's kind of he's right. A good third center. The Saracens, the front row, Itoji, Earl, Farrell, Malins, Good, and then the rest is lineup dependent. But all those guys will get opportunities. I think Gloucester are pretty solid in defense, but so not all of them are going to score, but you're going to play them if you got them because they could be them.
Could be. Wow. Where are we going? We're going up to Kingston Park. Newcastle and Leicester. So let's talk about the host first. So Leicester have some spots that are very vulnerable, and they have some spots that are very, very staunch. And some of those spots still might be worth playing a guy or two. So their front row defense has been good, but I still would play Newcastle just because of Blumeyer. He is a special talent. There's no doubt about that. I don't like I've spoke of like some of the locks at Newcastle and maybe of the loose forwards. Guy Pepper's the only one that has me like convinced he should play as a loose forward because also Leicester's loose forward defense is pretty tough.
Yeah.
Not convinced of any halfbacks. I don't love Conan, as most people know. Maybe in a pinch, but really try and find someone else if you can. Midfield, I'm terrified. No. The matchup's good, but no. And then but OBs, I actually really like their usual starting 3. Obatayenbo, Radwan, and Carreras. All are worth a start. Will all of them hit? Probably not. But that's why you play them just the same, because they're still worth a start. For the Tigers, hopefully we see.
Don't start 2 of them. Let's start one. Like,
yeah, right. Hopefully you're right.
Pick one, flip a coin, and hope that's the one.
Yeah. So Tigers front row has not been great, and Newcastle defense is good against the front row, so I would pass on them. George Martin's the only lock on Leicester that I like, so go with that. Again, outside of Jasper, maybe Rafael, maybe Liebenberg, but Jasper's the only good to go loose forward on Tigers. The scrum half, it's got to be JVP or nobody. Fly half, yeah, Pollard's good. Freddie Burns, if he's healthy, either one of them, they're fine. If they have to go to Jimmy Gops, Godspeed, good luck. They're not going to, I don't see that going well. Porter and Kelly will be better this week, assuming they're playing. This should be fine. For their OBs, Watson, if he's healthy, and Freddie. I still don't like Potter at all.
No.
Like, just hasn't done it for me this year.
Nope. All right, off to Sandy Butt Crack. Exeter hosting Northampton. For Exeter, we talked about that on the rugby pod with there's not much there. So, but this is a different story because I'm still of the opinion that the Saints defense from this past week was kind of a fluke. I'm also the opinion that I'm not sure Exeter can take advantage of that. But at the same time, it's at Sandy Park, so there's a whole lot of there's a lot of back and forth going here.
Many factors here.
I'd still go with Exeter's front row because at home you could still get a pushover, the Dave Ewers try from some of the front or a maul over try. Like I know Dave Ewers in the front row, but I mean that style of power over from 2 meters out,
right?
Just bully over. And Schickerling's a douche, but every so often he goes on a tear for a try. And again, Saints defense is suspect, so it could happen here. Chunza, Sam, and Joe Simmons. I think you gotta play Sam. Joe, if there's, I don't know why you'd have a question mark about that, but start him. I normally don't even talk about this guy, certainly not in positive terms, fantasy wise. But Slade is absolutely an option this week. And then the back three, yes, even though if he plays, start him because you're probably going to get 10 points from him.
Right.
On the other side, for the Saints, Augustus, if he's healthy and back in the lineup, start him. The Aussies in the pack, as we're talking about it, certainly Salakai Lodo. Mitchell, yes, Finn or Grayson. Again, I have Finn Smith, but I'm not sure how banged up he is, so I picked up Grayson as a backup option in case, because I think he'll still score well against Exeter. Fraser Dingwall, how good is he?
He's excellent. He should get a look this coming spring too.
And then again, the back three from Saints are quality. So, and then it does depend on the lineup a little bit, but yeah, I do like the Saints against that Exeter suspect defense.
Right. Okay, so we're going back to the stoop for Quins and Sharks. So, did I make that up? Yep. No. Okay.
No, you're right.
So Sale are pretty staunch against fantasy defenses. They do have one or two spots to take advantage, but for the most part, I'm a little scared for if I'm a Quins fan. It's gonna be tough sledding. So for the Quins, we know their front row is not that particularly good. Sale's front row defense is excellent. With the Quins not being a really top-notch front row, that makes me say sit unquestionably. I would say sit of the week, but that's too easy. That's a layup. Not doing that. Loose forward. I'm terrified for Don Brandt if there's no Kenningham and Evans. If he has at least one of them back, then play him. I would not play any of the others, though, and that includes the two I just mentioned. So, because loose forward defense has been really staunch for Sale. Scrum half, yeah, Kerr is one of the better ones, so you got to play him. Tommy Allen's been so hot and cold.
He really has.
Close your eyes and hope, I suppose.
Yeah, put it this way: like in that league, in our league where I have Finn and I signed Grayson, it's because I also have Tommy Allen, and I'm not fucking playing him this week.
Right. It's just a really tough task in front of him there. Centers, it can be had a little bit. So I think Andre will be the one that take advantage the most, but of course Marchand is who he is, so possibility there.
Yeah.
OBs, Murley for sure. Probably Nick David, not Josh Bassett though. No. I like the guy, but no.
He's scoring tries, but he's not scoring like running.
He's not doing
tries.
anything else. That's the thing.
He's like scoring dot downs, which is not, good for him. He's making amazing plays, but not helpful fantasy wise.
No, as a fantasy asset, not very helpful at all.
Like when you're getting in a try, but without a defender beaten, without a clean break, without many meters made, it's
pretty terrifying.
You're not getting many points.
No. Quinn's fantasy defense is middling, so that should present some opportunities for the likes of the Sale attack here. Sale front row actually performed this past week, and if they continue to do what they did, I see them as an option. They could be what we refer to as a streaming option. here.
Mhm.
This might be one of those matchups that where they're favorable, depending on what your other front row options are. Loose forward, Quins are surrendering a boatload to loose forwards right now, so I would totally give them a thumbs. Give anybody in that back row a thumbs up. Not Jono, not Jono.
No,
Everybody else, go. Like the Currys and DDP and even JL. Yes, give it a go. I don't like any of their halfbacks unless Quirk's healthy. Twins are tough against fly halves, but RDP's been one of the better fly halves in fantasy, so I don't have a reason to sit him yet. He probably won't get you what he got this past week. He'll still serve well, though. It's probably like in the 12 to 15 point range, I would guess. I don't love any of the midfielders at sale, so pass unless it's Roebuck on the wing, but that's it. And the wings and the outside backs, Luke James, Joe Carpenter, yes, maybe Reed, as I said before, Roebuck and O'Flats. Those are the ones. Those are the ones. Yeah, maybe Reed, not Byron McGuigan. Pass.
correct. All right, and last but not least, to London Irish hosting Bristol, and that is, hold on, let me see. I'm bad at this, so I want to try to practice. This is at G-Tech Community Stadium. I never have that. I never remember where the fuck.
Although they just put the sponsorship on it this season, I think.
Okay, yeah, so it's confusing to me. I'm
Can be forgiven.
Yeah. Anyway, for the Irish, their front row has been kind of a mess. I don't know what the hell happened this year.
Gus Creedy. He's been suspended the last couple of weeks.
Well, there's that too. But even before that, like the props aren't doing what they normally do. I don't know where Ollie Ollie Hoskins has been doing.
He likes Oliver now.
Oliver, sorry.
He likes Oliver now. Those that haven't heard.
Anyway, I'm not recommending them, is where I'm going with that. Okay. Pearson and Gonzalez are really the only forwards that I would I'd be pushing at this point. Ben White, I still like, as you know. Maybe not enough to cut Mitchell, but god damn it. Their 10 could have a good game. So if you're unclassy enough to have him on your team, go ahead and start him. Ben Hard-Jans is just
yeah.
Ollie Hassel-Collins, Loader, Stokes. Yes, hopefully Loader is healthy again this coming week. They will need him. And Sinti, sorry.
Sinti, yeah.
Scintillating.
When he's on the wing, he's scored well. The problem is that they've slotted him in at 13 a couple times. That's annoying, and that's not his spot. So
no. I would like to see the OHC Loader Sinti back three there.
That'd be fun.
Would be fun. Yep, for Bristol, their front row, because I'm get that gnawing sensation in the back of my head that it's going to be Genge, Sinclair, and Thacker in between them. Which, please.
Yep. Yeah, if that's the case, they'll be in my number one ranked front row this week probably. Magnus,
I think hopefully he's back. Urine or Porter, or maybe both. Because again, they both of them will score from the bench.
Right.
AJ, hopefully he's their 10 and then could have a great match in this one. And then Piers, Radradra, I like Ibitoye. And if Piatau's back, which I hope he is, that would be,
I'm sure he will be
very tasty.
No more Morahan. He's gone.
He's gone.
Yeah. He shipped out.
Oh wow.
Yep. He's left. I think he's going back to Australia.
Okay.
Or no, maybe he's going to France. I think he's going to France. That's what they signed him as somebody over there signed him as a medical joker.
Okay.
And I remember hearing this conversation actually. They weren't going to be able to offer him long term, and this club is going to offer him something long term after this season. So
okay.
And Bristol were straight up with him and said, "Hey, we probably aren't going to be able to offer you anything long term." So he said, "Okay, thanks for being honest," and he went on his way.
Yeah, I like Luke Morahan, don't get me wrong, but we all know, like, I think my feelings on him are decent player, but kind of a jag.
Yeah, more on a hand sometimes, as we like to call him.
Yeah, he does stupid shit sometimes, and
Yes, he does.
I'm not a huge fan of his as far as
right.
I'm not a huge like admirer of his. I guess I like him, but he's not a game changer as much. So yeah, I don't think they're going to miss much. I think they've got the guys to because shit, even Rad Raja and or Piers O'Connor can play on the wing and have, so
right.
Not going to affect them too much.
No, they'll be okay. They have enough quality. Plus, they're obviously getting max next year, so that'll help them.
Mm-hmm. Fucking
A. Yep, that's happening. Okay, pick them, and then we're out of here.
All right. No, we didn't do the other weeks.
Oh, duh. Sorry, getting ahead of myself. This is why we have two of us. This is why we have two of us. One of us is to keep the other in check.
Right.
Mostly me.
So, start of the week. It's funny, both of my other weeks I have on different teams. But my start of the week, I still don't trust Northampton's defense. As I've said, I can't. We'll continue to say until I start trusting them, which will probably not be this year.
Same.
So it's fairly easy as one of my picks to look at who they're playing and see what they got. It just seems perfect for Joe Simmons to have a great game.
Mm-hmm.
So Joe Simmons is my start of the week.
Rebound game. So my start of the week for
rebound game against a practice girl.
Yeah, right. So my start of the week is actually from that game, from that team. Again, I still think he's one of the top players at this position. Certainly for fantasy wise, considering the position's depth is kind of meh to begin with, but I still think he has the ability to be one of the top ones. And that's me saying this about this team. So just keep that in mind. But my start of the week is going to be Henry Slade from Exeter.
Oh, it's a good shout.
Yeah, just Saints are having too hard of a time defending a bar this past weekend.
Mm-hmm. I think Slade could have I even that's funny because I even mentioned him too, the same kind of way. Like, wow, Slade. All right.
Right. Yeah, especially since midfield is kind of tough to field. Like
it is.
You look at all the guys that are out there. There's just filler guys like, and not even like Chris Harris has the ability to break the game up and quite like Henry Slade does. Chris Harris is a great player. Don't get me wrong. One of the best defensive 13s out there. That's such a hard position to defend.
Right.
But for the sake of fantasy, that's really hard to say that Chris Harris is going to be better than Henry Slade.
I agree. Not this week, certainly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think two of the better ones are on the other side usually as well. Hutch and Dings.
And Dings, yeah.
That being said, that's where we're at.
Sit of the week. I think if you've listened to anything I've said or everything I've said so far this pod, it should not surprise you as to who my sit of the week is. Mostly because I'm talking about my own team and looking at how
we pick the same one?
So my sit of the week is Tommy Allen.
Same. Fuck.
Shit, now I might have to start him.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's just it's a terrible matchup, and he's been inconsistent.
My exact reasoning.
Yeah, I don't see him. I'm actually is Marcus going to be available for this match? Is it possible, or is he still out? Okay,
he's not going to be back until I think they're saving him until Champions Cup.
Right. Okay. So I wasn't sure if they wanted to give him a run beforehand, but if not,
might be on the bench. I don't think he's starting.
Yeah. But either way, I'm a big no. Like Edwards, I might even trust there ahead of him, but right now I would no.
Edwards played well when he came in.
Yeah, he played really well. So. And he has played well in the past, so it would not surprise me if he plays this match.
Yeah, just a change up.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, now we can pick them.
Now we can pick them.
It's funny. I went through my pick them, and then I stopped and changed a bunch because I realized that I was being I picked too many away teams.
Yep.
So I had to go back and revise that.
Yeah. There's gonna be a point.
Yeah.
Anywho. Gloucester and Sarries.
I know. Again,
they've had a hard time winning there, but
yeah,
this was not a good Gloucester performance, and I feel like Sarries kind of got their shit figured out here. So
right, and honestly, without Lewis Rees-Zammit on Gloucester, I like Sarries are vulnerable on the wing because well, I guess they're at least they're defensively okay, but they're slow, in a way that Rees-Zammit could easily exploit.
Absolutely,
but without him, I mean, Johnny May's not exploiting. He's not faster than even Maitland at this point. So,
right.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about that. So I just don't know what the Gloucester is going to do to threaten them. This is again one of those, if Sarries play their game, that they're fine. They have to play it.
Right.
They have to shit up the place like they did against the Irish.
Yes, they would have to. I agree. Newcastle and Leicester. Yeah. Bounce back.
And Newcastle, I think they're going now at this point. It would surprise me if they did not end up bottom of the table.
Probably true.
Because Bristol should pass them. I don't, maybe Irish fall below them, but Bath isn't going to. So,
no, I don't think that's going to at all.
Yeah,
no, not at all. Exeter, Northampton. Exeter.
Yeah. This is one of the ones where I was like, the Saints can win this. And I'm like, it's at home. Yeah,
it's at home. That's the only thing. If this was at the Gardens, I'd totally back Northampton. But
I agree.
Nope. Quins and Sale.
Quins. Yeah. As much as I've said, like, I don't think it's gonna be ugly. I think Quins win it.
Right. They did manage to get my only contingency right now, my only contention right now, excuse me, is Quins got this done at the AJ Bell, but that was the Marcus Smith show.
Right.
I'm really wondering. I think it's a bounce back for them.
There's that.
This is probably a 4-point win, like in terms of standing points, not a bonus point try. And I bet I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm sure Sale will probably get a losing bonus point. This is going to be close.
I agree. This is going to be one of those lower scoring. If it's the over under is set at 40-ish. Take the under.
Take the under. We still should have taken the over at that fucking.
I didn't pass. I didn't see any places to bet. Otherwise, I absolutely would have.
Right. I'm sure we could have sought one out. Anyway, London Irish and Bristol.
London Irish.
Yeah. I hate the way.
Again, at home, I don't trust Bristol still.
Right. But they've had the time to rest, and that's why.
That's a good point. Also, that's a good point. I just, again, home team. I'm not sure Bristol are up for a road win.
Maybe not. We'll find out.
But this is again another one of those where I just don't trust a team that's playing. They're playing bad. No other way to say it. And I don't trust teams that are playing bad on the road. I need to see them start playing more good rugby.
Yeah. No, fair. I'm not wrong. But I just hate the way
I
really don't.
I hope you're right. Put it that way. I want you to be right. I just pick the other way.
Yeah, no, try and pick with the brain, not with the heart. But that's
right.
Still trying to prick with the brain, even if it doesn't appear so.
No, I you're not wrong. It's just
be another tight one.
You have to look at it a certain way. You can look at it like two different ways. I'm looking at it one way, you're looking at the other, and both either could be right. Who knows? Yeah,
definitely. All right, cool. That is Fantasy Corner time. That'll be that. Fantasy Corner next week will, of course, conclude Champions Cup. We'll dive back into that. Only 4 weeks left till we determine a winner in that. I think that'll be our second competition that goes final because I think Six Nations will go final first. So, but yeah, point being, get in on it. Anyway, but we do appreciate you all for listening, hanging out with us, supporting us in any way, shape, or form that you can. Fantasy Rugby Podcast at gmail.com for questions, comments, concerns, feedback, whatever your pleasure. Call us stupid. Don't care. Tweet at Ben or I. We'll have the start sit sheet out on Friday per usual. I was able to do it actually fairly quickly because everybody was asleep on Friday. So, and I didn't work. So that was nice. But we do appreciate you all for hanging out with us and listening to us. We'll be back next week with more goods. Until then, enjoy the records. Good luck in your matchups. Have a good one all.
Later.